Hi, I'm Arash, and this is our seventh lesson on CATIA. In previous lesson, we talked about so much feature in CATIA. We almost finished this toolbar here, which is profile toolbar. And in this lesson, we completely finished this with these two complex feature called Spline and Connect. These are wonderful, wonderful features. If you if you didn't like this video, please do like. This is something that's really helped me and motivate me to make more videos for you. And if you haven't made any comment yet, please make a comment. And uh, if you subscribe and push that red bell beside, you can inform about our new videos in the future. So we have a feature called Spline, which I said this is complex. This is a complex feature, and why this is a complex feature? Because uh, let me say why this is really useful feature. Because we can make an uh, you know we can make some unmathematical and non-uniform and organic shapes with the splines. For example, I can make something crazy here with spline. Or if I'm planning to, for example, make a flower, something that uh, really organic, I can make it really really ugly and grotesque flower this way. And at the end point, I can say close spline to close it. This ugly flower is something that my spline can do, and I can easily change these points to make it more, mm, you know, this is make it more parametric. But there is something else which is a feature and benefit for that is every line, every section, every aspect of this spline are tangent together. You know what? If you move these points, there is no specific points in this area which their tangency may have a problem. So you're completely sure about tangency between these points, and that really helps you to design. We can this constraint is unwanted and we can delete it now. Or if you want to add a point or maybe delete a point, you can simply double click on this and you have a list of points here. This is our first point, which is here. Second point, if we want to delete a point like this point, we can choose remove point. This is removed. We can remove that one too. And this is removed. And the spline, I pushed Control Z to undo that. And if we delete a point, like some points here, this spline still goes its way without that point, like this one. I select Control Z, it goes back. And if I want to add a point, for example, I want to add a point right here. I select the first point and I choose the option to add point after that, and I can choose a point to be right here. I can add a point before that by choosing a point here. I select Ctrl Z. Before that, we can choose something here before this first point. Or I can replace the point. Want to replace this point with a point here or a point there. I can easily replace this point. This is something like fun. This is something like maybe a play. Another thing I can do, I can make a line here from this point, make a construction line, and specify that, for example, this point, what is this point? 31. 31, I want this point to be tangent to this line. I think this is not an option here, but that is an option in Spline in GSC format. So that is not working here. So this is something which is really useful about the spline, but the complexity of that. If I want to, the complexity of the spline is that if you want to have a smooth curve, you must have less points. For example, I want to have these curves with a lot of points. Even when I make this point really carefully and change them so I can have a smooth face one by one and manually, this spline, this spline is not what called as a smooth spline. But if I make this spline again and choose less points, I can have more smooth surface. For example, if I exit the sketch, I can see that this sketch is really bad shape and sloopy shape and bumpy shape, and this one is smooth shape, a smooth curve, and that is what complex about a spline. You need to have less points to have more accurate and more smooth surface, as less points as possible. We describe this more in our exercise in the future. Yeah. So this is one thing about this spline. Another feature is connect. If I have two spline here, like these two spline, let me delete this one. And I want to connect, I want this spline to be right just like this. And I want this spline to be just like this. I want to connect these two spline together, knowing that I want it to be tangent in this area and tangent in this area. And this is not a tangent spline. I can easily do that by using connect. I use connect, I select this one and this one. It makes me a perfect spline to connect these two together. This is something really smooth and pretty helpful. Thank you for watching this lesson, that is conclude to our tutorial about profile toolbar. And the last tutorial was about spline and connect.